Hello, my name is Bernadette Beavers, and I am a student in the Instructional Design and Technology program at Samford University. I am currently working as a graduate student in the Online and Professional Studies department. This presentation will focus on my capstone project, Mobile Learning. The presentation will cover 5 areas: analysis and design plan, literature review, development of instructions, implementation, and evaluation of the instruction. Now let's discuss the analysis and design plan. For generations, corporate style of learning has been focused on face-to-face classroom environments, off-site training, and web-based training. Today, the technology world is moving away from the traditional learning settings centered around stationary devices to a more flexible approach called mobile learning. Research has shown that mobile learning is a very useful tool and supports various styles of learning in the classroom, at work, in fact, wherever the learner may be. Mobile learning is attractive to many trainers because learning can be experienced anywhere and at any time, and provides immediate feedback to employers and employees. Plus, it shifts the focus from the content to the learner, creating a flexible and personable learning experience. Corporations are moving away from traditional style learning. Because it is growing very rapidly, some researchers fear that non-users, companies may get left behind the longer they wait. The purpose of this training is to provide knowledge about mobile learning and how it is trending and changing the learning environment by enhancing and creating meaningful learning experiences away from the work environment. Now let's discuss the analysis and design plan. The mobile learning training was conducted online in an asynchronous environment. The design included a blended platform where the primary teaching contents were delivered through a more traditional web-based training. The population for this training consisted of 8 professionals from corporate businesses and higher education. 25% were male and 75% female. The learners were from different geographical locations within the United States, including Florida, California, and Alabama. In an effort to include digital natives and digital immigrants, the group's ages ranged from 25 to 65. The employment status was full-time and some part-time. All learners had at least a bachelor's degree, and some had postgraduate degrees. The objective of the learning task was to engage the students in acquiring basic knowledge and understanding about mobile learning and how it is changing the learning environment. The following steps were included. Learners received an online pre-assessment survey with 3 days to complete the survey. Learners received an email link to the web-based training and had 1 week to complete the training. The training included the following topics: Introduction to Mobile Learning, Challenges Faced by Old Methods of Learning, What is Mobile Learning, What are the Forces Driving Mobile Learning, Why Choose Mobile Learning, Getting Started with Mobile Learning, and the devices used in mobile learning. The learning objectives included: upon completion of this training, students would be able to define mobile learning and recognize how it will enhance the learning experience in the work environment. Students would be able to recognize the challenges faced by old methods of learning. Students would be able to recognize mobile learning as a vital part of learning strategies. Students would be able to identify the learning design and tools used in mobile learning. And students would be able to communicate basic information about mobile learning to other employees. The pedagogical approach followed the behaviorist and cognitivist design principles. Media: students only needed a computer and a held hand device with internet connection to be successful in the training. The implementation plan included the pre-assessment survey, which was completed by all learners in an effort to identify prior skills and knowledge in relation to the training. The estimated time to complete the actual training was 15 to 20 minutes. The training was developed using Adobe Captivate 9 and published in SCORM. The training included one module completed in the following steps: the introduction, topics, conclusion, a quiz, and students received an electronic completion badge at the end of the training. Formative and summative assessment was utilized in this training. Now I will summarize my literature review. Mobile learning developed in the early 2000s as a new concept through educators' ideas to use mobile technology in learning environments. Kaskin and McCaff defines mobile learning as the delivery of training through devices such as PDAs, mobile phones, digital audio players, pen scanners, voice recorders, and digital cameras. Mobile learning is growing very rapidly and promises many great opportunities for the future. Mobile learning impact. Society is more mobile than ever and continues to grow at a fast pace. A recent report projected that mobile phone usage will increase to 5.7 billion by the year 2018. The available usage of mobile devices is transforming the learning experience and performance in the work environment. Challenges facing mobile learning. Even though mobile learning is here to stay and is viewed as the most popular style of instructional learning, there are still companies that have not embraced this change. Many organization concerns are focused on providing mobile learning phones to employees, the size of the screens, and the feasibility of mobile learning in relation to customizing applications on mobile devices. Finding the right mobile solution is the key factor when introducing new ideas to corporations for learning. Learner engagement. Benchmark research by Midgard reported that 29% of mobile users confirmed that learners utilize what they have learned more quickly versus 24% of non-mobile users. Social learning uses mobile learning as a resource to foster quick learning when and where employees are comfortable using the devices. This area of research is underdeveloped and needs considerably more research to further validate the effectiveness of mobile learning between the instructor and learners with technical challenges. The field of mobile learning is changing the learning style rapidly in all sectors of learning. The development of training. The project was created utilizing Adobe Captivate 9 software. The training design layout consisted of 23 slides. Basic tools from Captivate were included to make the training more engaging and fun. I used the text-to-speech option throughout the presentation. I included text and character animations and the text and image rollover feature. The course also included 2 quiz challenge questions within the training and an 8-question quiz at the end of the training. An electronic certificate of completion was rewarded as the final slide. The content of the course was created using various resources, tools, and assessment methods from previous courses within the instructional design and technology program. The content was evaluated during this phase to ensure that the training supported the objectives. Editing the content and images was a huge part of the development process. Making sure the content and pictures were used in the most effective way for the learner was important. Some of the image editing was completed in PowerPoint and imported into Captivate 9. The usability of all buttons, clicks, and slide rotations were changed to ensure the flow of the training was consistent throughout. Several previews of the training was published in SCORM. This provided a real view of how the training would look to the learner. The training was published for implementation once all the edits were made. The implementation. The delivery of the pre-assessment survey was sent via email to the participants. The pre-assessment included a short introduction animation video created in Powtoons. The goal for using animation was to grasp the learner's attention and create an expectation of a fun learning environment. The email was sent to 8 participants, and the survey summary showed that 7 participants actually completed the assessment. The assessment was completed on mobile devices, and the completion time ranged from 1 minute to 1.5 minutes. The assessment length confirmed that this activity complied with the mobile learning, where information should be delivered in small chunks. The participants completed the survey with no issues. Based on the assessment, 100% of participants have their mobile phones with them at all times, and over 85% use their devices for texting and 71% for social media. When asked how comfortable are you with using a mobile device for instructional learning, 57% were extremely comfortable. However, a large percentage chose face-to-face learning as their preferred learning style. The age of the population was balanced between the 8 participants, which included millennials. And based on research, this is the group that prefers mobile learning over traditional styles such as face-to-face. The next phase was the online training, which was also delivered via email. There are 5 learners that participated in the training. The completion time was estimated to take 10 to 15 minutes, and based on the report summary, the average time was between 8 and 14 minutes. There were minimal issues that were quickly resolved during the training. One participant was able to access the report but only showed 3 minutes of interaction with no results. Another participant had several attempts logged, but there were no course activity noted. One participant did not have any issues completing the training. However, the learning interaction report yielded 0. This report displays the learner's response to each question and the length of time used to complete each question. Out of the 5, 2 participants completed the training with no difficulty and with good results. The participants that completed the training effectively were able to navigate through the actual online training easily. The buttons, images, text, and slides performed as designed. All the learners were excited and motivated to complete the training. Participants accessed the training during times throughout the day and over a period of 7 days extended beyond the 1 week allotted. On this slide, image 1 shows the participants who registered and were enrolled in the course, including me for testing purposes. Image 2 shows a detailed report of the completion of the training. The participants' responses to the challenge questions and quizzes are also included. One response from the participant was, "Excellent training. I had previously heard about mobile learning. I was skeptical about how well it would actually work. This training made me realize that it would be a great learning tool and is the future of corporate and classroom learning." The third image is the actual badge that was presented at the end of the training. The results and outcomes of the implementation phase. The results and outcome were not as favorable as I expected. The actual design took longer than expected. Adobe had released several upgrades that I was not aware of, and when I called technical support, they made the updates. However, they advised me to delete the animation text and replace it with regular text because Captivate continued to provide errors. Participants that completed the entire learning module all had passing scores. This was a good indicator that knowledge and skills were transferred. I was very satisfied with the structure and layout of the content. The summary reports for the training were not consistent. However, the report did reflect the passing score correctly, which was 66%, because some questions did not include correct or incorrect answers. What would I do differently? I would use a more user-friendly development and delivery tool. I would develop a stronger network with other instructional designers because having a strong network is very important in this industry. I would implement one more level of testing prior to presenting to the learners in an effort to reduce errors that I experienced. I would also make sure that the learners had some level of experience with LMS systems. Evaluation. The primary goal for the evaluation was to ensure that the course objectives were satisfied. Evaluation was performed in each phase throughout the process of the training. Formative and summative assessment was utilized. The learners that completed the training scored 100% accuracy on the challenge questions. Learners completed an 8-question survey at the end of the course, which were designed for feedback. One question asked if the learners were comfortable sharing information about mobile learning with other peers after the training, and all answered yes. All participants agreed that the training was engaging and paced perfect. The learners were presented with a badge of completion as the final assessment. I was satisfied with the results from both assessments. Included are the references that I used in my presentation. Thank you for your time.